G'day everyone, this is Riley Morrison. This is a video on my launch of my book Heir to a Lost Son. It is my first book launch and it is independently published. I started writing Heir to a Lost Son back in 2016 around November. I was inspired to write it by a game called Arx Fatalis, which is set underground, and by a movie I enjoyed called City of Ember, which is also based on a book. The books are for kids, I believe, or at least young adults. They probably aren't something I'd normally read, but one day I intend to read them because it's just such a fascinating world to me. A mix of steampunk and post-apocalyptic and caves and all that sort of stuff. So my book was really inspired by those two things, and to a lesser extent the horror movie The Descent, which is about a group of cave explorers, a group of women underground being hunted by monsters in the dark. I myself have done some caving over the years, and it's pretty interesting being deep underground in absolute darkness when you turn off the torches. And just the cold, oppressive nature of them and the moisture on the rock and the smells. Anyway, caving's a pretty fun thing if you're into that sort of thing. Now this book, Heir to a Lost Son, ended up being 139,000 words long. So it's a long book written in the style of 1980s, 1990s epic fantasy. So long books with epic storylines and long chapters. I wouldn't say there's too many characters in it. There's really only 5 or 6 main characters. But it is a long book and it's got a big epic world and a sort of epic feel to it. Now, of course, being a writer and trying to start a new author business, I wanted to get this book out with a bang when it released. I got a good cover. I got it developmentally edited by an editor called Alison Erin Wright, who did a great job, and I've learnt a lot from her. But I wanted this book to come out with a massive bang. But then a bunch of stuff happened in the lead up to my launch of the book. Just personal stuff, and we don't have the money to really promote the book anywhere near as much as it should be. In fact, I'm only getting it promoted on 2 websites, at least for the first few weeks, until our finances recovers, and those websites are Awesome Game and Free Kindle Books and Tips, which has a new release author section. I believe they put it out every weekend or every second weekend for new authors like me that don't have the reviews or the books out. I did, as I discussed in an earlier video I do have some ARC reviews. I actually have 14 now with an average star rating of 3.8, which is lower than I'd wanted. So all up, I've spent about $3,000, maybe just over Australian, on this Heir to a Lost Son, which would be about 2,500 US, and I don't hold out hopes that I'm going to recuperate that cost, at least not within the first year, but I'm hopeful I will. Now, as to my launch of Heir to a Lost Son, I botched it up. I set a short pre-order because I needed the ASIN number for promotion sites. And I thought the date I was putting there in the Amazon direct publishing was actually for the pre-order and not the final book. Turns out it was for the final book, so my book came out 5 days early and there was no promotion, nothing. It was just dropped out there into the wild. And it didn't really hit the ground running. So I quickly scrambled some Amazon ads. I was going to read Brian Meeks' book on how to do Amazon ads, which I've started to read now, and it's a complex topic, but I hadn't had any experience with Amazon ads before, so I quickly knocked one together, and it actually got a lot of impressions, but I had no idea what I was doing, and it wasn't selling anything, and it was costing me money. My book was put up at 99 cents for the first 5 days, and I ended up terminating that ad prematurely, and that ad actually has turned out to be my best ad. But anyway, live and learn. So my book was put out at 99 cents 5 days early. My official launch was meant to be November 20th, and it went up there on November 15th. So I had to scramble and get some ads together. So I haven't even actually got to sit back and relax and think, okay, my book is out, how great is that? My first book ever. So I've been scrambling ever since, or at least it's felt that way. That was kind of depressing, having my book out early and just seeing it sink in the ranks, and it's actually rebounded up and down in the paid store for the first 5 days. I got as low as 32,000 roughly in the store, and then it went as high as, I believe, nearly 200,000. So it was definitely a mix of up, down, up, down. It was kind of depressing seeing how quickly it'd sink after I got a few sales. And I didn't really get many sales at all. That tells you something about just putting a book out there with minimal, or just relying on Amazon ads, especially when you don't know what you're doing, or just shoving it out into the wild with no promotion whatsoever. Now I hope this week, from November 20th, things pick up. At current, my book is in the free store. I made it free for November 20th and November 21st. I'll just go off US time. And I told my mailing list, which is numbers about 350 to 400 people now, that my book was going to be free and that they should go and grab it. I got those subscribers through Insta Freebie using my reader magnet book called Fall of a Lost Sun, and most of them have only heard from me once or twice via email, so there's no real deep bonds between us yet. Now the reason I decided to put my book free for 2 days, or it won't be quite 2 days, I intend to switch it back at 5 p.m. US Eastern Standard Time on November 21st. But the reason I did that was because I hope it'd build momentum, and I hope it'd build some loyalty in my mailing list who, at this moment, don't really care about me at all. I'm just another author they're getting newsletters from after they got a free book on Insta Freebie. So if I can build them as loyal fans and hopefully not turn them to thinking that they're going to get everything for free, I hope I can build on that and get some more beta readers and ARC readers, or anyone who will help me publish my next book, which will be Dawn of a Lost Sun, which is coming December 21st, 2017. So about a month after the first one, just over now. It was originally meant to be a month. If I can get help releasing that and cheapen the cost of it, that'd be great. I'd love to get at least a core loyal fan following, and giving the book away for free lowers the bar to do that. I'm amazed at how well it's done in the free store. I'm number 4 in the category of science fiction steampunk, and I'm nearly going to break that 1,000 barrier, the top 1,000. Whether it will or not, I don't know, but it's pretty damn awesome to see my book so low in the ranks. I just hope once it switches back to paid that it'll boost me up a bit. Having all these people having downloaded my book, I just hope there's some sort of impetus going there. Now the reason I'm switching it back at 5 p.m. US Eastern Standard Time is so there's still a good, 5 or 6 hours before midnight of time that people could buy it and send me up the paid ranks. Hopefully by the time that comes around, most of the people who are going to get it free in the short term had gotten it free. I'll probably send a reminder email to my newsletter later today, like in so they've still got a good 18 hours or so to grab it for free. A second benefit of giving away my book to free to so many people is that some of them might leave reviews. I mean, there's 14 reviews there, but at least the free books will have verified reviews, because my ARC readers never had the verified reviews, and the verified reviews is a great thing to have. So if they can leave me some good verified reviews, that'd be awesome. I don't know if free books affects the also boughts, but I hope it does. These people have joined up because they like fantasy. They've downloaded fantasy and science fiction books, so I'm hoping that if my also boughts come up, it's actually going to be also boughts of science fiction and fantasy, which is where my book fits. Now I have a great fear of failure when it comes to this book. I'm going to try not to make this part of the video depressing. Releasing my book early was definitely not the best thing to do, and I've definitely had a lot of negative thoughts about how well my book is going to do. Is it going to fail? Has all this money and time I've spent on it being a waste? And has it ruined my author career? Maybe I should give up. All those sort of negative things people get. I definitely feel, and I'm a bit surprised about it because I've handled editor criticism fine and all that sort of stuff, but almost feel that it's all or nothing, like the whole thing is a zero-sum game. I either massively succeed or I'm a failure. it's hard for me to picture the in-between. Like my book could just do okay, and that is fine. It should be fine to me, but it's almost like, as I said, it's a zero-sum game. It's all or nothing. So I'm going to have to work on trying to get rid of that mindset because it's not exactly helpful. But overall, I've been a bit depressed about the launch. I'm a bit happier seeing my book doing well in the free ranks. There's only side benefits to that in regards to getting reviews and fans and stuff like that. There's no money or anything like that coming in doing it free. But I hope it leads to that in the end, because as I don't have much money to promote, there seriously is very little I can do other than Amazon ads, and everyone's doing Amazon ads. And I might only sell a few copies a day doing that. I don't have like hundreds of dollars to invest in the ads every week, so I need to use them carefully and sparingly. So I'm really hoping this free promotion pays off, and the promotion sites I'm using, Free Kindle Books and Tips and Awesome Gang, might help a little bit, but you really need to promo stack to get anywhere, I believe. From just talking to other writers and seeing what happens when they promo stack their launches. So I'm doing what small things I can in what small ways I can with the limited resources I have. It's also harder being Australian because it limits you. I can't do Amazon giveaways, which sucks because that's another way that you can get people to notice your book. Now I put down the pre-order of book 2, Dawn of a Lost Sun. So I'm hoping that will also spur people to pre-order. It'd be great if they pre-ordered that book, but at least let them see that my book is part of a series and that the next book is coming soon. That I'm not going to be one of those authors that puts a book out there and then you don't hear from them for 6 months and then they put another book out. So I want them to know that my books are coming pretty quickly apart. If I had the time, I might have finished 2 or 3 of the books and then released them quick, 2 weeks apart, as Martha Carr and Michael Anderle suggest. I just don't have that in me. I've worked 2 years nearly on Heir to a Lost Son, and I really wanted it out there. I've literally been writing books for the last 3.5 years, and this is the first time I've gotten anything out there, so been kind of busting to get something out there. I could have put my reader magnet Fall of a Lost Son out there first and learnt from that and maybe not made the mistakes I've made with Heir to a Lost Son, but I was convinced not to do that as it's a good lead for my reader magnet book for my newsletter. And it truly is. But I also regret that a little bit that I didn't put it out there just to see what happens and learn from it. So overall, my launch has been a bit depressing. I haven't had time to just sit back and reflect how great it is. I finally managed to get a book out there and I put my all into it. It wasn't something I half-baked. I put my all into it. It's professionally edited. It's got a good cover. I hope the cover sells the genre. And I've put everything I could into it to make it the best book possible. It might not be for everyone, written in the style it is, but I still believe in my heart of hearts that it is a good book. I believe the second book, Dawn of a Lost Son, is too. Well, I hope this hasn't been too depressive for anyone. I'm sure once all this couple of weeks is over and my book is either flailing, sinking, or actually doing well, I'll definitely have a lot more to say on this launch. I'll definitely be doing another video too on whether the free promotion has helped build momentum after it goes back to paid, as I believe that'll be an interesting topic to explore and just see what happens. So I'm fascinated to see what happens afterwards. Well, thank you for everyone for listening. Catch you later.